Hello aspirants, welcome to Vishnu IAS Academy. Hope you're all doing well. In this program of Yuddha Abhyas, now we have entered fourth series in which we are going to talk about some of the important government schemes and policies today. Okay, so these schemes, these are of highly important and are also, these schemes are in the current news also. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's get started with these schemes. Okay, but before that, you know what you are supposed to do, right? Okay. Put down your valuable suggestions in the comment section, and also please don't forget to subscribe to Vishnu IAS Academy for more this kind of videos. Okay, now let's see the schemes. Some of the important government schemes. Okay, the first scheme is Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, which is an integrated scheme for school education. Okay, education sector, this is one of the very important sectors which will decide the economic development of any of its countries, and that's so that is why our government has put its highest focus on enhancing the education starting from the pre-primary school itself. Okay, about which we will be learning in this scheme. So what is the first scheme? Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Okay, so if we observe this, the Union Budget 2018 and 19 has proposed to treat school education holistically without segmentation from pre-nursery to class 12. What does this scheme does? First of all, it has been introduced in the year 2018 and 2019 Union Budget. Okay, so according to this scheme, there won't be any segment-wise analysis of the development in school sector, but yes, the whole development of a school is supposed to be brought under the holistic umbrella. Okay, starting from pre-nursery to class 12th. So, which includes holistically starting from pre-nursery to class 12th. Okay, clear? And now, this scheme is prepared with the broader goal of improving school effectiveness of schooling. Okay, how the school is able to give quality education to its students. Okay, and is the school able to give equitable access to every section of its population in that particular region. Okay, and what are the skills with which the students come out once they have completed their 12th standard are the major goals or the principles set by this particular Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Clear? Okay, and now it is actually not a single scheme but an umbrella scheme which is formed by the integration of three former schemes known as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, first one, and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and also teacher education. These are the three schemes which are merged together to form this Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Okay, so now let's see. What is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan? Sarva means everyone. Okay, everyone will be given Shiksha. What is that Shiksha? Education, nothing but. Okay, just kidding. So this scheme, what does this scheme do? It will be universalizing elementary education by providing supportive or the necessary infrastructure. Okay, according to Right to Education Act 2009. Okay, it will be universalizing the elementary education to every child, okay, by providing all the necessary equipment or the infrastructure for them, okay, according to the lines of RT Act 2009. Clear? And now the second one is Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. What does this scheme provide? It will be enhancing access, okay, and also the quality of secondary education. Madhyamik education is nothing but the secondary education, isn't that so? The name itself denotes over there. Okay, so this scheme will be enhancing the access as well as the quality to the secondary education in the school. Clear? And now third one, teacher education scheme. What does the scheme provide? It will be developing infrastructure. See carefully, it will be developing infrastructure for whom? For the training of teachers, and will also be providing academic support for the teachers, both for elementary as well as higher educational teachers also, which is very vital. Isn't that so? So these are the three schemes which are integrated for the formation of this Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Okay, now let's see the salient features of this scheme. What are the salient features? First of all, it will be supporting, this scheme will be supporting the states and the union territories in the implementation of all the recommendations of National Education Policy 2020. Clear? This is the first one. And second one is that it will be supporting the states in the implementation of Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Okay, it will also be helping the states for the implementation of RTA Act 2009. Clear? And also it will be focusing on early childhood care, okay, as well as the child's education. It will be taking care of, it will see that the child's early nutritional care or their educational care or their mannerism care or their cultural care will be taken care by this scheme. Okay, and next it will be emphasizing the foundational literacy and numeracy, which is very, very important. Okay, a child without a foundational literacy and numeracy can't get conceptual understanding, and thereby he lacks proper skills that are necessary for him to do any future jobs after once he completes his schooling or the education. Isn't that so? So that is why this is very, very vital, which this scheme will be focusing on. Okay, and now thrust on holistic, integrated, inclusive as well as activity based curriculum and pedagogy to impart 21st century skills among the students. So which means this scheme will be concentrating on the holistic development of a child that has been enrolled in the school. Okay, by giving him all the upgraded skills, concentrating on the pedagogy. Pedagogy means the way a teacher should teach these elementary schools. School children is said to be the not only elementary, all the school children. The way in which a teacher is supposed to teach all the school students is said to be the pedagogy. They will be given special importance in order to enhance the child in the educational sector. Clear? And also it will be having a provision of quality education, as we have talked about quality education, and also it will help in enhancing the learning outcomes of students, which is very, very important. Without this outcome, conceptual understanding and the learning outcome of a student, it will be useless for him to waste all these years, all his or her precious years in the school. Isn't that so? That is why this scheme has focused on, prioritized the learning outcomes of the student. Clear? And now it will be bridging the social and gender gaps in school education. This is very, very vital, at least in this era, okay, in which genders are supposed to be treated equally, absolutely equally. And also it will be ensuring equity and inclusion at all levels of school education. Equity and inclusion will be ensured by this policy in not only in one level but till higher levels of the education as well. And it will be strengthening and upgrading the State Council for Educational Research and Training, which is SCRT boards, and also State Institutes of Education and District Institutes for Education Trainings. Okay, these are the training institutions which are located in the which are located state-wise as well as district-wise. They will be empowering and strengthening these institutions, and also which are the nodal agency for teacher training. Okay, so these agencies, two SCRTs and DITE institutions, will be empowered and strengthened such that teachers will be very qualifiedly, okay, trained over there in order to teach the students. And next, finally, it will be ensuring safe, secure and conducive learning environment. The classroom environment will also be taken care under this policy, and maintenance of standards, which is very, very important in schooling, and also provision of basic necessities in the schools like hygienic conditions, okay, safe and secure for all the students over there, etc. kind of things will also be provided. And finally, promoting vocational education, very, very important, which is very much necessary for those students who wants to get employment in their early years. Okay, vocational education means nothing but providing skills to them for employment, future employment. For future employment. Okay, now let's see what are the main outcomes of this scheme. Now we have seen the salient features done, and now what are the outcomes of this? Universal access, okay, according to Right to Education Act, and also equity and quality. These are the three main outcomes: universal access, equity and quality, okay, will be taken care of. These are the outcomes of this particular scheme. And it also will be promoting localization of education thereby, and also strengthening of teacher educating institutions also. Here in this scheme, schools will be taken care of, schools infrastructure will be taken care of, teachers will be taken care of, students also will be taken care of, apart from the whole environment. That means this scheme will be covering holistically, okay, the total school education care of a child starting from his pre-nursery era to the higher education also, which is a very, very wonderful scheme brought about by our government, okay. And this is a centrally sponsored scheme, don't forget that. Now let's see the fund management of this particular scheme, okay. So fund sharing or the fund management, as it is a centrally sponsored scheme, so nearly 80% of all the financial burden will be taken care of by the central government itself, okay. Let's see how the share will be taken care. Fund sharing pattern between the center and the states at the present ratio is 90:10%, okay. For whom? For the 8 northeastern states, okay. So when it comes to the northeastern states as well as the Himalayan states, northeastern and Himalayan states, the share for this particular scheme will be in the ratio of 90:10 between the center and the respective states. Don't forget this, okay. And now, what are the 3 Himalayan states? Those are nothing but Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. These are the 3 Himalayan states, okay. And you all know the 8 northeastern states. What are those? Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Mizoram, okay, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. And now when it comes to the rest of the states, the percentage of this fund sharing between the center and the state, respective state, is in the ratio of 60:40 for all other states and union territories with legislation. Don't forget this. But when it comes to union territories without legislation, the center will be taking care of all the 100% funds for this particular scheme, okay. It is 100% centrally sponsored for union territories without legislation, okay. This is the distributive pattern of the funds between the center and the state or the center and the union territories. Clear? Remember this. And now, why is this scheme is in news recently? Because Cabinet has approved the continuation of this Samagra Shiksha scheme till 2026. It has extended the validity of this particular scheme to 2026 in the recent budget. Okay, that is why this scheme has been in news. Just remember this. And now coming to the next scheme. What is the next scheme? PM Shri Schools, which means PM Schools for Rising India. Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India. Okay, these schemes fall under the Ministry of Education. They'll be taken care by the Ministry of Education. Remember this. Okay, this is also a centrally sponsored scheme as usual. Okay, and it has been approved by the Cabinet on 7th September 2022. Remember this. Okay, this scheme has been implemented or approved by the Cabinet on 7th September in the year 2022. What is the main aim of this scheme? Okay, main aim. What is the main aim? Is setting up of more than 14,500 PM Shri schools. Okay, schools for the Rising India, by strengthening the existing schools that are maintained by the central government, state government or any of the local governments also. Okay, but the schools are supposed to be maintained only by the government bodies but not by the private bodies. Okay, so all the schools that are maintained by the government bodies will be enhanced qualitative wise. Okay, that is the main aim of this particular scheme. Okay, so these schools showcase the implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. They will be acting as a reflection for the implementation of National Education Policy 2020, all the schools which are selected under this scheme. So now let's see, what do these schools provide? Okay, let's see. PM Shri schools, they'll be actually providing leadership. What is the main aim of these schools? They'll be providing leadership in their respective regions. Remember this, in their respective regions, for providing what? For they'll be giving leadership for providing higher quality education in an equitable, inclusive and joyful school environment, which is very, very important. Three features: equitable, okay, inclusive and joyful environment. So they'll be maintaining this kind of environment and they will be providing qualitative education for all the students. So for this, these PM Shri schools, they will be providing leadership to their school, subsidiary schools in that particular region. Clear? You'll be understanding more about this scheme further. Let's see. So how are these PM Shri schools selected? Let's see. Okay, it is done through transparent challenge. The selection mode is through transparent challenge method, in which these schools, they will be competing openly by proving their outstanding skills or by standing apart in exemplar mode. Okay, so all the schools, they'll be coming forward into the market by saying that, by voluntarily coming forward by competing and proving their exceptional skills. Thereby these schools are selected as the leaders in those particular region. As simple as that. Clear? And now, what is the cost of the total cost of this project? It is around 27,360 crore for a span of 5 years. A fund of 27,360 crore has been allocated for this fund, for this scheme, for a span of 5 years. And here, as it is a centrally sponsored scheme, majority of the fund will be taken care by the central government and the value is 18,128 crore. Remember this. Okay, done. And now, if we see the statistics, here a total of 33 states and union territories, okay, Kendriya Vidyalayas and Navodaya Vidyalayas have all signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Education for the implementation of this PM Shri schools. Till now, 33 states and union territories have come forward for signing of a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Education for the implementation of this PM Shri school. Clear? Remember this also. And now, if we see, till now, how many schools? A total of 12,079 schools have been selected from 32 states and union territories. Among them, okay, Kendriya Vidyalayas are also there, Navodaya Vidyalayas are also there, and all these selections have taken place in 4 phases. Okay, remember this. And out of this, if we see very particularly about the primary, elementary and also the secondary and senior secondary schools, again I have given statistics very particularly. Remember this. Okay, primary schools are 1329, among this 12,079 primary schools are 1329. okay, pre-primary. And now 3,340 are elementary schools, okay, 2,921 are secondary and 4,489 schools are senior secondary. Okay, just for your information I have given this, but you remember the main statistics. Okay, holistic statistics will be suffice for you. And now what are the key features of this? Let's see the key features. Okay, it will be providing high quality education on the basis of, what are the principles? On the principles of equitable, inclusive and also joyful school environment, which you have seen before itself, right? And it will also be taking care of the diverse needs of a student. It will be catering to the diverse need of a student, okay? Their backgrounds, it will be taking care of their diverse background. What are the diverse needs? Diverse background and their multilingual needs, because all of them, every region is having a different diverse of its own, isn't that so? That will be taken care of by this scheme. And also different academic abilities of the children. It will be keeping in mind the academic ability of that particular region children, and based on that they will be catering the teaching methods to the students by providing a joyful environment to them. Okay, so that more number of students will be attracted to the schools. And this PM Shri schools will be providing leadership which I told you, right? They'll be providing leadership to the other schools in their particular region. These selected schools will act as leaders for enhancing the qualitative education to their schools which have been set as subsidiary to them. Okay, and now next key feature is PM Shri schools will be developed as green schools. Remember this, they will be transformed into green schools by incorporating environment friendly aspects like solar panels and LED lights, okay, nutrition gardens of their own with natural farming, organic farming, and also waste management of their own will be established by these schools, and they will be plastic free, okay, and they will be water conserving and also water harvesting methods will be implemented in these schools, thereby transforming them into green schools, which is very, very vital, which is very important. Now, next, pedagogy adopted in these schools will be more experiential, okay, holistic, and it will be integrated, play or toy based for the pre-primary school students, and also inquiry driven, discovery oriented, learner centered, and also discussion based, etc. kind of pedagogy methods will be adopted. So even the pedagogy or the teaching skills will be taken care of very, very cautiously, okay, by involving all the features which I have discussed here. Experiential, okay, methods will be used, holistic and entire coverage will be used for teaching the students, okay, and it will be play based or the toy based for pre-primary school children in order to make classes more attractive for them, okay, and inquiry driven. The teaching skills, the teaching manner will be in such a manner that the students will sort out to inquire about the concept, okay, and also it will be discovery oriented, okay, creating discovery kind of enthusiasm in the students, and also it will be learner centric, which is very, very important, discussion based, okay, flexible and enjoyable to the students. These are the kind of pedagogy methods that are adopted under this PM Shri school scheme, okay. And now, where will the focus be? Focus will be on the learning outcomes, which we have discussed that it is a very, very important factor. Learning outcomes of every child in every grade, okay, learning outcomes of every child in every grade will be taken care of. It is not that simply they'll be teaching and asking them to go to the next class, but no, they'll be taking care of the learning outcomes of the child or as well, which is very, very vital these days for us, okay. And assessment at all levels will be based on very, very important conceptual understanding, application of knowledge to real life situations, okay. So this is very, very important. The teachers will ensure that students will be having conceptual understanding, and also application of the knowledge to their real life experiences will also be taken care in this, which is very important, isn't that so? And finally, assessment of the resources also will be taken care in this scheme, okay. Assessment of the resources available and also their effectiveness in terms of availability, okay. Not only the resources will be assessed, but their availability will also be taken care of, such that sustainable, okay, use of those resources will be enhanced, will be enabled and enhanced as well, okay. And now, thereby, these resources will be utilized for each of the domains and their key performance indicators, okay, and their key performance indicators will be done and gaps will be filled in a systematic and planned manner, okay. So resources assessment will be done, okay, and their availability will be calculated, and also certain key indicators will be given based, okay, on these assessments, and their performance based on this key performance also will be assessed of the students, and thereby, you know, these resources will be enhanced for the students, thereby increasing their learning outcomes, okay. And finally, linkage with sectoral skill councils for enhancing employability and providing better employment opportunities will also be explored, okay. This is nothing but related to vocational training. after completing the highest grade of a student, their occasional training will also be taken care of, such that skills, proper skills will be pumped into a student in order to make them completely fit for future employment. Okay, and now finally, school quality assessment framework, very important. Okay, in order to assess the quality of that particular school framework quality, the school quality framework assessment will be developed, and it will be specifying some of the key performances. Okay, and these key performances will be measured through indicators to measure the outcomes of that particular school. Clear? Which is very, very important. Okay, so with this, the quality assessment or the quality evaluation of that particular school will be done. Okay, so this is the overall discussion about this PM Shri Yojana. Okay, this also falls under the Ministry of Education. And now finally coming to one more important scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Dhan Jan Yojana, which is a national mission for financial inclusion. Okay, this comes under the Ministry of Finance. Why is it in news? Because recently in August 2024, okay, Pradhan Mantri Dhan Jan Yojana, it has completed it successfully its 10 years anniversary. Okay, so with this we can say that this scheme has been launched in August 2014 by none other than our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi as a national mission for financial inclusion. As a national mission for financial inclusion. Okay, and it aimed at bringing the vast unbanked population into the banking sector, financial banking sector, that is nothing but the formal financial system. Okay, all those people who don't have a bank account till that period of time, till 2014, okay, are empowered to open bank accounts for their own beneficial purpose. Okay, and now let's see the guiding principles of this Pradhan Mantri Dhan Jan Yojana. The principles with which this scheme operates is banking the unbanked. All the unbanked people will be banked, and all the unsecured people will be secured, and all the unfunded will be funded, and all the undeserved hitherto will be served over here under this scheme. Okay, and if we see in detail, banking the unbanked means nothing but letting those unbanked people open their basic savings account. Basic savings bank account, okay, with a minimal paperwork, okay, and also relaxed KYC, e-KYC, and on campaign mode. Accounts will be opened on campaign mode, okay, and those accounts will be zero balance maintenance. Okay, this is said to be banking the unbanked. These are the benefits, okay, of the banking the unbanked through Pradhan Mantri Dhan Jan Yojana. Clear? And now securing the unsecured means issuance of indigenous debit cards for cash withdrawals and also payment at merchant locations with free accident insurance coverage of up to rupees 2 lakh. So that means a person till now without any secure will be covered under this security mission of giving them debit cards, okay, and also providing them with an insurance coverage, accident insurance coverage of up to nearly 2 lakh rupees. Okay, and with this debit card they can even pay very easily in any of the merchant shops where they have done any purchases. Clear? And now funding the unfunded. What does this mean? Other financial products like micro insurances, okay, overdraft for consumption, micro pensions and micro credits will all be taken care of under this Pradhan Mantri Dhan Jan Yojana. That means it will be empowering the vulnerable sections of the population by providing them with bank accounts as well as money also. Okay. And now let's see the benefits under this Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. What are the benefits? First, one basic savings bank account is opened for unbanked person, which we have seen, and there is no requirement to maintain any minimum balance in that account that is opened by them. Okay, and also interest is earned, remember this, on all the deposits they have made into that savings account. Okay, and RuPay debit card will be provided to those account holders. Okay, and also accident insurance coverage of up to rupees 1 lakh previously has been provided to them, and but later, in 2018 this has been increased to 2 lakh rupees. Previously it was during 2014 it was just 1 lakh the accident insurance coverage was, and later from 2018 it has been enhanced to rupees 2 lakh. Okay, for the Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhan Yojana account holders. And now overdraft facility of up to rupees 10,000 to the eligible account holders is given, which is a very, very important benefit for them. Okay, and now these accounts are eligible for direct benefit transfers from the government. Okay, the money will be directly transferred to these accounts. And also Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. Okay, and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana, Micro Units Development and Refinance Asian Bank Mudra Scheme. Okay, all these schemes will also be available to those persons who are under the Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhan Yojana. Direct benefit transfers will be provided to them. Okay, their LPG benefits will also be transferred to them. Okay, Mudra Yojana eligibility will also be given to this particular bank holders, etc. Here, remember this. These are the benefits. And now, if we see, okay, this is a banking for all Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhan Yojana, and it is the world's largest financial inclusion scheme. This is the world's largest financial inclusion scheme launched by our government of India. Okay, so if we see the number of bank accounts that were opened in March 2015, the number stood at 14.72 crore, whereas by August 2024, the number has peaked to 53.13 crore. Till now, 53.13 crore of bank accounts have been opened under this Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhan Yojana, with which we can say that it is a huge successful scheme. Clear? So I hope by this you will benefit out of these schemes, and tomorrow I'll be coming up with some more schemes. And please don't forget to comment all your doubts, any of your queries or any of your suggestions, kind of things in the comment section below. And also don't forget to subscribe to Vishnu IAS Academy. And on this note, I wish you all the best. Bye.